Hello everyone and welcome to the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. This is Dawn. I'm so glad you could join me today. I'm super excited because I get to play with the Spellbinder Build-A-Wreath die set. This set has everything you need to make a beautiful wreath, and it's not just for Christmas. You could make a wreath for any time of the year with it. Spring, summer, fall, birthdays, Valentine's Day, you name it, you can make it. I'm pairing it up with the Christmas wreath die set, which is amazing because with this set alone, you can make so many different types of wreaths. You can make a whimsical one or a traditional one. You could put a Christmas tree on it. You get the season's greeting sentiment. You can build a snowman or hang an ornament from it. The possibilities for this set are endless. I'm making a traditional card today, so let's get started. I went ahead and die cut everything I'm going to need to put this wreath together. I chose to use 3 different color greens for this because I'm looking to highlight the wreath on this card. I want the focus to be on how realistic it really looks, and I didn't want to load it up with a bunch of decorations. I cut out 2 different colored reds for my poinsettias and a red ribbon, along with a red shadow for the sentiment, and I chose some metallic gold cardstock for the season greetings. I'm going to set them aside for now so that we can make the background for the card. I'm using some of the Ranger's liquid pearls. I'm using the gold color and white cardstock that I cut to 4 1/16 by 5 1/16. I put a little down on my glass media mat, and I'm using some sheer shimmer spray, but you can just use regular water. I don't think it really made a difference in what the speckles looked like at all, so why waste it? Make sure it's really wet so that it will flick off the brush nice and easy. So add more liquid if you need to. Once my brush is really wet, I just tap the brush over the paper until I have the desired amount of the gold splash on the card that I want. Then you can either set it aside to dry, or I'm going to use my heat tool to dry it faster. You can do all your die cutting while the paper dries if you wanted to. Once my paper is dry, I'm going to assemble the wreath. I decided to go with the middle shade first, and I'm going to put down some of the longer stems as the base. Now, you can use whichever size greens you want. They give you so many different ones to choose from. If you want it to look less full and maybe more twig-like, you can use all these longer ones if you wanted to. I'm just using these as my base to give it some extra dimension. I didn't really cut as many of these because I was going for a more traditional Christmas wreath. Now I'm going to bring in the darkest greenery and adhere a few of them around the wreath. I also wanted to let you know I'm not adhering the whole greenery down. I'm only putting glue on the stems about halfway up the middle of the stem. This way, when you look at the wreath, it will look more three-dimensional. Now, I'm going to bring in some of the middle shade of the greenery again, and I'm going to put it in between the darker greens. This will make the wreath appear to look much fuller when you're adding the 2 different colors to it. And finally, I'm going to use the lightest green color to add accents on the wreath. I'm using the twig-like greens for this part, and since I only cut out a few of them, I decided to just cut them in half since they are on the longer side. But if you want them to really stand out on the wreath, you can leave them longer and just cut more of them out. Now let's start to decorate the wreath. I adhered the season's greeting onto the red shadow. I put foam tape on the back of them, and I'm going to position them where I want them to go on the wreath so that I know where to put my poinsettias and the ribbon. I did take the paper backing off the foam tape, but you might want to leave it on for now in case you want to move the sentiments around later. Now I'm going to assemble the ribbon. I start out by putting the 2 ribbons that will be hanging down next to each other. I put a little bit of glue on the top of them, and then I'm going to adhere the bottom part of the bow on top of both of them. Make sure they both stay touching each other, and I move it around until I have it in the right spot. I put glue on the top part of the bow, and then I adhere it so it touches the bottom part of the bow. Then I adhered the middle part of the bow onto the center of the bow to give it a finished look. And next, I'm going to assemble the poinsettias. They come together so quick and easy. I just add a drop of liquid glue in the middle of them, and then I put the light colored poinsettia on top of the darker one. And I offset it so that you can see both colors. I chose not to die cut the middle of the poinsettias because I plan to put gems in the middle of them to add a little sparkle to the card. Using my liquid glue, I'm going to adhere the poinsettias and the ribbon onto the wreath. I chose not to use foam tape because I felt like it would be too much dimension when trying to stick it in the envelope since the wreath had a bunch of dimension already. I'm not using a lot of liquid glue. I'm just putting tiny little dots randomly on the petals. I don't want it to seep through the die cut areas onto the front of the poinsettia. Make sure to press down really good when placing the poinsettias onto the wreath so that it adheres really well to the greenery. I had these self-adhesive honeybee gems that I thought I would use for the center of the poinsettia to add a little sparkle to the card. All you have to do is take them and stick them onto the center of the poinsettia. You could add a little bit of glue if you really wanted to for some added security, but I don't think they really need it. And to finish off the card, I'm going to adhere the card front to a piece of red cardstock that I cut some extra of the red shadows for the sentiments. Since no one will ever see that you did this, it helps to save on paper because paper is just so expensive these days. Then I take the entire card front and I adhere it to an A2 size card base. And that's going to complete my card for today. I think this card came out gorgeous and I'm very excited to make a bunch of these. I might actually make different ones and give them as gift sets to people. I want to thank you for joining me on the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. I would love for you to leave a comment below and let me know what you think of the card. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel and their other social media platforms so you don't miss out on any great inspirational videos. Also, check out their website for any new releases that they might have. As always, I want to thank you for spending your time with me and I hope you have a wonderful day.